Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Hub. Tonight we have Miss Sonya Joyner and and Mr. Joseph Calvez. We're gonna welcome Mrs. Sonya Joyner, Miss Sonya Joyner and Joseph. I don't want to mess this up.
Goncalves.
Calvez. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I hate messing up people's names. I'd rather you to say it correctly and I follow suit. Nevertheless, thank you guys for spending some time with me this evening on the hub. I'm really looking forward to speaking to you on what I like to call the independent film, independent television renaissance, because there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm down here in the South, so I just moved from Atlanta a couple years ago, and the independent uh, television, independent film market is really huge down here. So I understand you guys are doing some really big things up there in your area of New England. So, Sonya, would you please introduce yourself and tell us what you have going on?
My name is Sonya Joyner. I am the director, producer, and an actor for Love Undone, which is entering its second season.
It's the second season. Okay, please expound.
Well, Joseph created a show called Unconditional Love back 2016, I believe.
Yes.
It ran for 3 seasons. It
Mm-hmm.
was great. I started off as a supporting actor, and then I became a series regular. And at the end of the third season, it ended, and I was terribly disappointed. And then I was able to get very excited because Joseph brought back a spinoff called Love Undone. I became a lead actor and directed an episode, and then became a producer. So he has really helped me learn and grow and brought a lot of new things to my life.
Gotcha. So, let's get some background. Tell us about the story and how it all came about. I mean, we've gotten to the spinoff of Love Undone. Excuse me. So Joseph, please tell us about the story that you've written. This beautiful story.
Yeah. So, like Sonya mentioned, we had Unconditional Love for 3 seasons. And at the end of that, that show sort of ran its course in terms of, certain characters and sort of certain storylines we had already told. And at the end of that, there were a few characters that were still like running through my mind and still wanted to write for
Mm-hmm.
and expand on. And at the end of those 3 seasons, we came up with Love Undone. And Love Undone takes essentially two couples in that show, two sort of unconventional couples, and we explore their work life, their romance, their family life heavily, sort of answering this question: if once they get to this sort of part in their relationship, what they've always wanted, can they make it work?
Mm-hmm.
So all of my shows and all the work that I do is sort of a day in the life, sort of one foot in front of the other each day, and we sort of do that on this show.
Gotcha. So, how would you categorize Love Undone? And I mean, is it a drama? Is it? I mean, how would you
Yeah,
categorize it?
it's a drama, but the subgenre changes every day. I'd like to think it's a romance, but as we write our second season, it's becoming more of a family drama. So I would really categorize it as a family drama.
Gotcha. And I'm always curious as I talk to writers, um, because I know everything is inspired by something.
Hmm.
As the old saying goes, "There's nothing new under the sun."
No.
And creatives have a way of kind of expressing things that they've seen, that they've gone through, or someone that they know have gone through. So, what was the inspiration for the story?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I'm always inspired by life. So the things that are happening, whether it be at work or my friends, that's daily
Mhm.
inspiration. But beyond that, a lot of family dramas that I've watched have inspired the work I do, whether it's Brothers and Sisters or This Is Us. Um, Anything Mara Brockakil really has created, whether it's Girlfriends or Being Mary Jane. I'm
Mhm.
really interested in sort of like I said, that daily one foot in front of the other. We're not doing car crashes over here, no police chases, but how am I going to pay my bills tomorrow? What are my dreams and aspirations, and how am I going to go after that? So that's what I'm really inspired by, especially with this story.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So I mean, your brain must have been overflowing because I'm not into this industry as deep as you guys are. I mean, I've delved into it before. Excuse me, but you've managed to write enough of one story
Mhm.
to have a spinoff of another story that creates more characters and more drama to be included back into the first story because all of
Mhm.
it's intertwined.
Right.
I'm impressed to see people that mind can really think that far out and put the spider webs out. How has it been to go from the main project to Love Undone? How easy was the transition and the development of those characters?
Yeah. I would say, again, combination. It's easy in the fact that you love these characters, so you want the best for them.
Mhm.
But at the same time, sort of having them grow and develop, especially with these characters. Um, Aside from Sonya, three of the other leads were like day players. So we'd see them once and then maybe never again. So
Okay.
really figuring out what their voice is. Because again, if in this show, we're sort of developing that. And with this second season, especially, we have a writer's room now
Okay.
with 5 other writers. So we're sort of throwing ideas. They're bringing their life experiences, and it's really helping to build those characters and dynamics that we're exploring. So.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So Sonya,
Mm, yes.
how has that been to become a part of this whole process?
Well, this second series is really great. The first one, you heard about Juanita having a job. You heard about her doing certain things, but you didn't see them. Well, now she has friends, she has a job, so she has a full life. And it's really fun to play that.
Who's Juanita? Tell us who Juanita is. What is Juanita's persona? I mean, give us some insight on who Juanita is.
Juanita, first of all, is the queen of shade. She was wrapped her her children's lives. That was all she had. It was everything about her kids. Now she has her own life, and she's focusing on her friends and her. She has a man who I'm wondering if he's still going to be there next season. To be honest with you, things didn't end well after season one. But right now she's in a relationship, and she's trying to figure out if she really wants to be in it. Uh, it turns out that her oldest son, it's his father. He didn't know that he was had a child. He was married, and she decided that she didn't want to tell him that she was pregnant. So she had her son. She raised him herself with her other boys, and now he's come back. And she's trying to figure out, does she really want him back? Does she want to live with him? Does she want to keep him around? What's going on?
Mhm.
So I don't know what's going to happen next.
Wow, that's wonderful. So you say you don't know what's going to happen yet next. So I am by you saying that. So I'm assuming that we get scripts at
Yeah,
shoot.
I get a script probably like a month or so before we shoot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's a secret to me. I'm hoping that she's got some more stuff going on. I honestly think it's going to be very messy and very chaotic
Okay.
and very interesting and very dramatic.
Got you. So as an actress playing Juanita, is there ever a point where Juanita becomes challenging for you?
Yes, there are things that Juanita does that I would never do. But, it's fun to tap into that. It's also hard because as a director, I have to direct myself.
Hmm.
I have to figure out the point of view from the camera as well as from in front of the camera as to what I'm going to do and how that's going to look and how I want it to look. So It's really fun.
So how do you manage to do that, to direct yourself? I mean, you're looking at it from behind the lens, but you have to kind of place yourself in front of the lens, like you just, like you just spoke upon. How do you find that balance to be able to direct a project that you're actively a part of on a day-to-day basis? I can imagine it'd be a lot easier if you were just a spot fill in here or there, or a spot character, but in a day-to-day shoot, how do you manage to differentiate, excuse me, to differentiate the two and manage it properly?
Well, as an actor, you when you get into a character, you get a certain feeling, and as a director, when you're in front of the camera, it has to feel right. I'll come
Mhm,
up, Joseph, how does that look? Does that look good? And he'll say, "Oh no, that was great." But then I'll say, "But it didn't feel great. I'm going
mhm.
to shoot that again because it needs to. If I can feel that it felt right when I see it back, it's what I wanted."
Gotcha. So Joseph, in this process, when you go through and you film the day shoot, um, are there sometimes that things that you necessarily didn't write into the script that bounces out? You say, I didn't need to keep that.
Um, I think, yeah, especially working with this cast, there are a lot of things that sort of make it in. But I guess once you watch it, like editing, because I also edit this show as well, which is also
Mhm,
another piece of storytelling. I think sometimes when people may ad lib a line or improv a line, or you let them have freedom at the end of the scene, sometimes it really does work. Um, I don't think there's ever been a time where we filmed something and it hasn't worked. I think we sort of figure that out on set together. If, hey, maybe this isn't working. But speaking from the first season, not calling it a blessing, but I had a whole bunch of time with the pandemic to really, flesh through and say, this is not going to work. So by the time we got on set, they were
mhm.
really solidified stories. So they were really the story and I think all of us really wanted to tell with these characters.
Gotcha. I can't wait to watch it. I need to, I haven't watched it yet, but I will. I will watch it. Catch up. Season two. I have to
Yeah.
have to catch up. Got a lot of stuff to watch. I'm imagining. Um, so I can't wait to experience it and see exactly what the story, how it unfolds, and see what Juanita does,
Yeah.
and how she manages these relationships. So on the back end of things, we have writer, we have director, we have actress. Um, how did this relationship develop to this point, to where you actually have in the creative piece of it, to be able to move forward with the project on its second leg?
Yeah, I think you have to build a great team. Some people like to think they can do it alone, but it's not realistic. So I think, speaking of with, Sonya, um, first as an actress, she's built this character with me. So she's very vocal about telling me what she wants to see. And I think that sort of developed the character. But I'm also big on giving people an opportunity. So if I see something in you, I may nudge. It might be a big nudge, but I
Mhm,
might, if I see that you have a perspective of a director, I might offer like I have to her. That's the first thing I did. Hey, do you want to co-direct an episode? At first she was like, me, but I think, going into the first season of Love Undone, she did her own episode. Same thing with Shaquan, who's an actor on our show, um,
mhm.
is in our writer's room this season. So
Okay.
he's known Daniel now. He plays the character of Daniel for almost going on 5 years, I think, with this project. And it made total sense to me to say, hey, what is your perspective on Daniel? And he joins the writers' room. So I think it's a really big team effort to move from sort of one project that you've built to sort of enhancing and expanding on an entire world.
Sonia, I'm gonna get you in a second, but that's very interesting, Joseph, because you don't find many. I'm assuming that you're the producer of this project.
Yeah, I'm one of producers. Yeah.
Okay, you don't find many producers that will extend credits to the actors on the project outside of acting.
Hmm.
That's not seen a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for that, because um, I know there's a lot more in a lot of people than just getting in front of a camera and reading and memorizing some lines. And I
Hmm.
don't mean it to minimize, what actors do, but to
Right.
to say that there's more to the business and stuff like that than just being in front of the camera. And for you to afford actors the ability to write and to direct stuff like that on projects is very, very important. I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
I applaud you for that. And so, Sonya, from your perspective, how has it been? Um, I know we've talked about your perspective from the director's aspect of it, but being a part of the creative of the show, how has that been as an actor coming into this project?
I am so thankful to Joseph for trusting me with his baby. You when this whole thing started, Unconditional Love, Joseph was everything. He was producer, writer, director, camera, lights, sound, literally everything.
Hmm.
And slowly but surely, he's been able to bring in people to be able to, take over the camera and take over the lights and do all these wonderful things to create this wonderful show.
Hmm.
And to be able to trust me with directing an episode and kind of taking over. And he doesn't step in. It's not like he comes in and says, "Oh no, I think you should do this," or "No, you should do that." Not at all. He says, "This is how it's done. You have to create a shot list. You have to line your script." He tells you the steps, but it's up to
Hmm.
you to do it. And
Right.
then you get on set, he's like, "Go ahead. This yours now. Take it."
Mhm.
And he'll help if you ask for help. He'll gladly step in and help. But he has given me total trust, and it's amazing. And I even get to edit my episode. I get to edit my episode. I get to pick the music, all the shots,
Wow.
everything. So when you see episode 4 in season 1, that's all my choices. And the fact that he trusts me like that is amazing to me. And I'm very thankful for it. And I've grown and I've learned so much being on the show.
Wow. That's amazing. Um, because minority, this show is about stuff that we're doing that I like to do in the Black community. So I like to spotlight minority advances, and we don't see, like I said, we don't see this at all. Period. Before to be happening in the minority sector opens up a lot of doors for a lot of people that want to maybe open a door into this industry or maybe get their feet wet to see what it's like to be able to kind of walk into a situation like this. Obviously earning their keep. Obviously, you're not going to just let somebody walk in and say, "Okay, I'm going to give you this," but earning their keep and learning the business from reading a script to, like you said, editing the final project. Picking how do you score it? What I mean, things like that. It's important to. I'm a big advocate of young people getting into the arts. So stuff like this, it really excites me to know that there are people that look like us that are actually doing some work, and that there are situations that if there's a person that wants to earn their keep and come in on a project, that they can learn everything, like I said, from reading a script to editing, final editing, and picking the score for the project. That's crazy.
Oh, and I'm part of the casting process too, along with other people that, Daquan and we're in front of the camera, we're behind the camera, we help cast the show.
So it's like community ownership of a project. And I think when you have that, then you have people that are giving you 100% because they're not halfway in. These are not lukewarm people that you have. These are people that want, because their name is on a project too,
Right.
they value it a whole lot more.
Hmm.
Which is, I mean, I think that's a great way to approach a project. I mean, I think that's wonderful. So is there? I mean, how did you learn to? I don't say I want to say learn, because there's special people like yourself that are. I think you're very a benevolent person to be able to give away stuff that most people covet because they don't want anybody else with control of anything that they've given birth to. Um, gosh, how do I ask this question? What makes you want to do that kind of work? What is it inside of you that says, you know what, this pie is this pie, but it's enough for all of us to eat, and I want everybody to take part in it.
Yeah. I think that's always how I've been, especially since I would say middle school,
Hmm.
someone gave me that opportunity, and seeing that, I've always wanted to give back to folks who are interested in the arts and obviously film and television, because someone gave me that opportunity, whether it was someone taking the time to teach me how to edit, or whether it was somebody who said, rather than tear you down, but building you up at the same time, like, hey, I think you should do it this way. Here's how you should do it. I've always wanted to sort of keep that. And I think with this show, especially, we have a family vibe. So it's easy to sort of um, see things in people and then say, hey, what do you think about this? So I think that's always been how I've sort of run in my own life. And I try to carry that. Obviously, it's appearing here. I try to carry that from each project to each project.
Gotcha. Sonya?
Well, I just think it's great. I think it's wonderful, and I miss the cast. Like, we miss each other when we're not with each other. It became this really great family, like Joseph said, and we trust each other. And we can also say to each other, I think maybe you should do blah 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 blah. Like, we can give each other pointers or hints, and nobody's offended, nobody gets upset, because we all want it to be a great show.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Like I said, if everyone is vested in a project, then you can kind of, in most cases, kind of rest assured that everybody's all in, and everybody's going to give you everything that they need to give you. Another quick question. You guys, you guys are working on Love Undone. Are there any other, maybe some community projects, or how can the community get involved in this project? Is there something, are you, recruiting, young actors and actresses? Are you actively seeking people for new roles? What is that process for you?
Yeah, in terms of other stuff, Love and None takes
All
all
of it.
of my life.
All of
All of it. So,
it.
sort of getting started with that again.
Right.
We are going to be releasing casting news soon. We have one more writers' room session. I'm actually,
Gotcha.
as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to be writing my episode. So, casting news will be coming soon. We're always looking for people. The more we can audition, the better, because we've had people audition and necessarily they didn't get that role, but we created something for them because they were that good. So,
Right.
right now we're crowdfunding, so we're trying to raise money for our second season. So that's where our starting point is now. And then from there, we always go to casting, table read, and then looking to hopefully shoot the show in the fall.
Is there a website for your crowdfunding?
Yes, there is. It,
You want to give it to me so I can post it for the people to donate to you? Or is it too
should I
long?
put it in the chat?
Yeah, you can put it in the chat and I can paste it.
Perfect.
I just like for people to be able to donate to the cause.
I appreciate that.
It's no problem. That's what we're here for, to lift each other up and to do some networking. So, everybody can see what everybody else is doing, and, creating resources.
It's also available if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook. You'll find it in my link, in my bio. There's a
Okay.
link to it.
Or you can, another method, you can also subscribe to our YouTube page at Love Undone Series. And
Love
then if
Undone
you just if you type in Love Undone Season 2 on Google, it'll pop right up. It's the first thing that pops up.
Season 2. Well, that'll be a lot easier. That way people can follow from there. Okay, Love Undone Season 2 on YouTube. So yeah, if you want to check that out, go ahead and check that out, Love Undone, and get the links to everything in Sonya's bio. So you can get all the links to everything, so you can donate some money to the project. I know Love Undone is, like you said, is everything. How how long do you see this going on, or just as long as you guys can create the juices, it's going to keep flowing?
Yeah, the last time I put a limit on something, it never got there. So we're just we're just riding through. But I think, I was just saying it yesterday. I read episode 4, and I said, I think we finally hit a great stride with these characters, and I can see it going now. It helps to have a writers room. We have a brilliant writers room.
Mhm.
Um, I can see it going for as long as people say yes. I don't hold the power. I like my cast holds the power. So as long as they say yes, we'll keep going.
As long as Juanita keep them coming in,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So, Sonya, quick question for you. How did you get into what you're doing right now, into the acting piece of it? It was something that you've always wanted to do? Because I met you on Clubhouse in a chef's room.
I got into acting very oddly. I was sitting in my car and I heard a commercial about acting. And normally I would automatically think scam, but something hit me in my gut that said I needed to pay attention to this and I needed to find out more about it. And right after that, the song Lose Yourself by Eminem came on.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that song was speaking to me, especially the chorus. And I went with it.
Gotcha.
And I took the seminar, which was not a scam. And they even made special arrangements for me, payment, arrangements for me so I could make it through. Um, and I came out of that and hit the ground running. I was told that theater was the foundation for television and film. So I did theater. And for 6 years, I actually hated being on stage. I loved
Mm.
rehearsals. I loved, learning the lines and everything, but performing, I had major stomach, the flip flops, and I was shaking, I'd be sweating. And then literally one performance, everything flipped around. I suddenly loved being on stage. I got into musical theater and started getting into TV and film. And another actor sent me the audition information for Unconditional Love and said, "You'd be perfect for Juanita." It was my first self tape. I was a nervous wreck about that. And I couldn't figure out exactly how to self tape, get the lighting right. It took me forever. And Joseph kind of nudged me, like, "So, do you think you're still going to be auditioning?" And I was like, "Oh God, I got to do this."
Mhm.
And I did it and I sent it in and said, "Well, that's never going to happen." And then it did. And that's where it all came from.
And here you go. And here we are. You're writing and directing everything else now. Off
Hey,
of something that you were scared to do.
yet petrified. Petrified.
Was it being on camera? Was it listening to yourself, or just the fear of thinking that you couldn't do it, or what was it?
It was the fact that I had never self taped. The lighting, was horrible. Trying
Hmm.
the phone to balance. I had boxes and things stacked up on each other, trying to get the right height, and I just didn't know how to do it. And just the nervousness, and I felt like I wasn't saying the lines right. I shot it, I don't know how many times. I mean, I did that setup in 3 different places, trying to get the lighting right, trying to get the lines right. It was horrendous. And I figured after such a mess, there was no way that I could possibly have done anything that would impress anybody or want them to cast me.
Yet here we are.
But like I do now, you just punch fear in the face and you step into it and you keep moving.
Just do it. A lot of times it's just doing it.
Yep.
It's not a matter of what you can do or what you can't do or what people think you can't do or whatever the case is. You sometimes you just got to jump and I'm going to give it a try. And if I fail, I fail. At least I tried it.
Right. And that's exactly how I did it. And now I'm actually asking for things, different kind of scenes and shots and things that I never would have wanted to do before. And now I'm asking for them.
That's
Although
great.
I still can't watch myself in a love scene. I still haven't.
That the most difficult thing about acting is love scenes?
For me, in this show, it is.
Gotcha.
It's so comfortable. This show, we just kind of hang out. It feels like we're hanging out. We're trying things. We're saying, whatever comes to mind. Sometimes enhancing things, and we help each other. If we're struggling through a scene, we will help each other get through it.
Gotcha.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean that's what teamwork is. Whether the team working together, the team doesn't succeed. So yeah, that's a given. Yeah, this time did go by pretty fast. We're gonna have to get you guys back on here. What advice from both of you that you would give an aspiring? I mean, we just talked about this, Sonya, with sometimes just doing it. But what advice would you give to someone aspiring to do what you do?
You have to remember that you always have to be learning. You are never done. I am still in classes. I'm in class every week. You have to commit to the craft. You have to be willing to learn the craft. And there are a lot of people that think, oh, I've been on stage, I've been on TV, I don't need any classes. No, you always need classes. You always have to be striving to be better.
Gotcha. Got to get that iron sharpened.
Always.
And yourself, Joseph?
Yeah, that's great advice as well. But I would say carve your own path and develop your own voice, because that's what makes you unique. And if you have that, nobody else can tell you no. And then the second thing I try to remind myself is like, don't give up, because you're closer than you think you are to where you want to be. So, yeah, don't give up. Keep going.
Got you guys. Thank you much for coming on this evening. I really, really appreciate your time. I'm going to check out Unconditional Love and Love Undone this evening, just so I can catch up. So the next time I speak to you, I know what the heck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I can ask some more specific questions. But thank you guys so much. It's been very, very informative. And so if you guys, what is well, if you like to share your Instagrams or your social media platforms so that people can follow you if they want to get in more information on the show or whatever the case is on you personally.
You can find me at Sonya Joyner Actor on Instagram and Sonya Joyner Actor on Facebook.
Yep. Joseph G21 on Instagram and Joseph Goncalves on Facebook.
Got you covered. Thank you guys again so much for coming on the hub with me. Give me just a few seconds. Let me close out the show and I'll be right back with you guys. We want to thank Sonya and Joseph for coming on the hub this evening. It's been great speaking with them. If you got any questions about acting, please do not hesitate to reach out to them. They'll be greatly, greatly, greatly appreciative and helpful with the answers. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, have a good night. Bye-bye.